In this video, you're going to learn about how to create the different types of coils you'll be using for your project. So we're going to start off with the clay beads first. So you're going to take small pieces of clay, try and make them about the same size, and you're just going to roll them into a ball, form them so that they're smooth, and then you will have some clay beads to put on your project. With this one, consistency is key. So make sure you are using the same amount of clay for each bead so that they're about the same size. So next we're going to be making a spiral. So I'm going to start off by making our coil. I'm just going to make this the size that I want my coil to be. So I want it to be about a medium size. So I'm using just a moderate amount of clay. And you can either roll it out with your hands or you can roll it on the table. If you notice that the clay is starting to crack and get dry, you really want to either spray it down with water, get some water on your hands, put it on the surface, or you can even use some slip. You really want it to stay moist and workable when it's in this stage so that it doesn't crack on your project. So I am scoring both sides, and then I'm also going to apply slip to both sides, and this is so that the coil will stay together and it will be a stable structure. These projects are going to include a lot of layering different coils on top of one another, and you want them to be stable or else your project will collapse. So I'm just going to be making a small coil, a small spiral. So I'm using just about 4 or 5 inches of clay to make a medium size. I'm applying some slip to it, and then I'm going to roll it up. Imagine you're rolling up like a cinnamon roll or something along those lines, and that's the form you're going to make. So again, if you see that it's starting to crack, get some wrinkles on it, you need to spray it, apply some moisture just like I did so that the project is stable. So you just keep rolling it up until you have a spiral, and then you're going to smooth out that extra end so that we don't have just a jarring end, a jarring stop to our spiral. You want to smooth it out a little bit. So now I'm going to be making a double spiral. So I'm using a little bit longer piece of clay. It's about 6 inches. I've already scored it, and now I'm going to apply some slip. So I'm going to do the same spiral method except on both sides. So I'm rolling it at the same time so that they are consistent in size. It kind of looks like a mustache, it kind of looks like a pretzel, but it's still a cool effect, and it's an alteration of the spiral. So that is the double spiral. So now I'm rolling another coil because I'm going to be making 2 donut shapes. So this is going to be about a medium-sized coil as well, and I'm going to chop this one in half. I'm doing that so that I'm going to have 2 equal sections of clay, 2 same-size coils, so that my donuts are the same size. So if you're planning on making one piece to go all the way around, I highly suggest cutting all of your coils first and then creating the forms afterwards, just so you can have a consistent size. So you can measure them up against one another and make sure that it's consistent. So I have scored both ends and I've slipped both ends. I am just going to bring it around so that I create a circle or a donut. This is one of the less stable ones just because it does have that open space in the middle. If you would like, I guess you could even make a bead to go on the inside so you can have a little bit of dimension and make it more stable, but that is a personal choice. But that is an option that's out there for you. That would be one of the more complex ones. So I measured out 2 equal pieces of clay, 2 equal sized coils. So now I have 2 equal sized donuts. So now I'm going to roll a relatively large coil because I'm going to be doing the arch. For the ones like the arch and the zigzag coil structure, you do need a larger amount of coil because it is a larger formation. So mine is probably going to be about 12 inches long, and we always want to make sure that it's an equal size all the way around, because if it's not equal, it's not going to be as structurally sound and it's not going to be as stable. So we want it to be consistent in size. So I have rolled a very, very long coil. Half of it I'm going to use for an arch and half of it I'm going to use for the zigzag. I am again slipping and scoring both sides, and if you've noticed during the entire video, I've been constantly applying water and applying slip to my coils. That's because it's such a thin piece of clay that it does dry out easily, so it is very vital that you do that so that your project will not collapse in and on itself. So I'm going to be making the zigzag formation first. I am scoring and slipping both sides of my coil, and this beginning step is the same steps that you're going to take when you're creating the arch as well. So the arch is just a more advanced version of the zigzag. So I have my piece of clay, I've applied the slip, making sure that it's nice and moist, and I am folding it in a zigzag fashion. So I folded the top up, now I'm folding the extra back, and then I'm folding it back again, and back again. So this is just a zigzag, a wavy line. This would be a great filler piece and also very structurally sound. So now I'm going to do the arch. It starts off in the same formation as the zigzag, except this time I'm only folding it in thirds. This is more of a standalone structure when the zigzag could go all the way around. So I have formed the zigzag formation with only 3 folds in it, and then I have curved it, I've formed it into an arch shape. So now that we've done a lot of spirals, double spirals, arches, and zigzags, we're going to morph them into different shapes. So we're going to start off by making a basic spiral just like we did before. So this is going to be the last alteration that we learn. So we are starting off with the basic spiral form that we have created, and now I'm going to pinch it into a different shape. So I am just pinching, moving the clay around. I'm creating a triangle shape, but you could transition it into any one that you would like. That is up to you. But now we have a few different alterations of coils that we learned from, and I hope you have fun trying out and testing out different ones for you to use in your own project.